right, buckle up everybody, because today we're diving deep, really deep into the world of crypto. Specifically, we're taking a closer look at a name you've probably seen trending. ZachXBT.
Yeah, ZachXBT, they've kind of become a legend in the crypto space, a digital detective almost, always uncovering scams, exposing the bad actors, all while staying completely anonymous.
Right, like a mysterious vigilante, kind of like out of a movie. We've got a ton of articles and research here about ZachXBT's work, and let me tell you, some of these stories, they're wild. NFT rug pulls, influencers getting called out, even a lawsuit.
Oh yeah, some serious drama. And, for you listening, this is important stuff. The more you understand how ZachXBT operates, the better you'll be able to navigate the world of crypto yourself and protect your own investments.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, right? So first things first, who is ZachXBT? Anyone know? Because the truth is, nobody knows their real identity.
Right, that's part of the mystery. That anonymity is actually crucial to their work. It lets them operate freely, especially when they're taking on some pretty powerful figures in crypto. Imagine trying to expose a crypto whale while everyone knows your real name and address?
Yeah, that takes guts. Okay, so how does ZachXBT actually uncover these scams? I mean, we're talking about digital trails here, not exactly dusting for fingerprints.
Well, their methods are actually pretty fascinating. They dive deep into blockchain transactions, which are public, by the way. It's like following a money trail, but instead of dollar bills, it's crypto moving between these digital wallets.
So anyone could theoretically do this if they knew what they were looking for.
True, the blockchain is a public ledger, but ZachXBT, they have this real knack for connecting the dots. They'll analyze those transactions and then cross-reference them with like social media posts, online forums, even the code of the projects themselves. Real digital age detective work.
And people are paying attention. Over 500,000 followers on Twitter.
Right, that's a lot of trust, and it's earned, too, because they get results. I mean, look at the Pixelmon NFT case back in February of 2022. You remember Pixelmon?
Vaguely. Big NFT game, wasn't it?
Huge. They raised something like $70 million from investors, promising these amazing 3D NFT characters for the game. But when they finally revealed the artwork, well, let's just say it was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, I remember seeing some of those images floating around. Pretty rough. So what did ZachXBT do?
Investigated, of course, and found evidence that the Pixelmon developers they were moving funds into their personal wallets. Instead of actually using that money to develop the game as promised, they even caught the devs buying those expensive blue-chip NFTs for themselves.
Oh, wow. Classic rug pull, huh?
Pretty much. This is a perfect example of how ZachXBT uses blockchain analysis to expose these scams. They trace those funds and prove with something shady was going on.
Like a digital money trail, huh? Okay, so they took down Pixelmon. But that was just the beginning for ZachXBT, right?
Oh, absolutely. Just a few months later, they were on to another case. This one involved a guy named Tyler Gay and something called the NFT machine. Gay raised around $55,000 from people who believed he was building an NFT marketplace.
A new marketplace. Sounds promising. What was the catch?
Well, ZachXBT found evidence that Gay was actually spending the money on his own personal NFT collection, not on building any marketplace. They used a combination of like online sleuthing and blockchain analysis to link Gay directly to the scam.
Wow, so they figured out his real identity.
They did, which is even more impressive because Gay was already known in the Solana development community. But under a different name, an online alias, ZachXBT managed to piece together this whole online persona and connect it all back to the scam.
Wait, hold on. What was the online alias? I gotta know.
You ready for this? It was Scare of Boobs.
You can't make this stuff up? So I'm guessing that wasn't the last we heard of Tyler Gay.
Sadly, no. ZachXBT's investigation showed that even with a court order to repay investors, Gay allegedly kept launching new crypto projects, probably just continuing the scams.
A reminder that actions have consequences, even in the crypto world. And ZachXBT is often the one shining a light on those consequences.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It all comes back to due diligence. You really can't just trust promises at face value. You gotta do your research, be skeptical, especially when it comes to your money.
Speaking of big name, remember the Bored Ape Yacht Club phishing scam back in August 2022? ZachXBT's investigation actually led to real-world arrests in that case.
Yeah, that one was huge. It involved this fake website made to look just like the official Bored Ape Yacht Club site. Users were tricked into connecting their wallets and approving transactions that, basically stole their valuable Bored Ape NFTs.
So they were tricked into giving away their NFTs.
Exactly. But ZachXBT was able to trace those stolen NFTs, and that led the French National Cyber Unit straight to the scammers. They ended up arresting 5 people connected to that whole thing.
Wow, so it started online and ended with real-world arrests.
And it wasn't just about exposing the scam either, there was a real human cost. One of the victims, who went by Dilly Dilly online, lost their Bored Ape NFT, which was worth, get this, $178,000 at the time?
Man, that's heartbreaking. It's easy to forget that there are real people who get hurt by these scams.
That's what makes ZachXBT's work so important. It's not just about exposing the bad guys, it's about protecting people from falling victim.
Okay, we've talked about Pixelmon, the NFT machine, that Bored Ape Yacht Club phishing scam. Seems like ZachXBT's got a real talent for sniffing out rug pulls. Did they ever investigate anything different?
They did. In April 2022, they uncovered what's called a slow rug pull. It involved a robot-themed NFT project called Rogue Society. They raised $5.5 million from investors, but instead of disappearing overnight, they slowly drained the funds over time.
A slow rug pull. That's a new one. How does that work?
Think of it like this. They create this illusion of progress, they keep releasing updates, teasing new features, but all the while, they're quietly siphoning money out of the project. By the time people realize what's going on, it's too late.
That's devious. So how did ZachXBT catch them?
They uncovered the founder's real identity, a guy named Javan Bowman, who went by Lachey the Milky online. Not only that, but they also found evidence that Bowman had scammed the artist who created the artwork for those Rogue Society NFTs.
Seriously. Scamming the artist, too.
It just goes to show you the lengths people will go to in this space.
Another reminder to be cautious and do your research before investing in anything.
Absolutely.
Blockchain analysis is clearly key to a lot of ZachXBT's work. Did they ever use other methods to expose scams?
Oh, yeah, for sure. One of their most interesting investigations actually involved leaked documents from a Solana-based NFT game called Solchix. On the surface, Solchix seemed like a promising project, but ZachXBT got hold of some internal documents that told a very different story.
Oh, interesting. What did those documents show?
Well, they showed that the Solchix team was allegedly buying fake Twitter followers, Discord bots, even fake Reddit reviews, all to create this illusion of popularity and hype around their project.
Crazy how much effort people put into manipulating perception online.
It's a real problem. Makes you wonder what else is out there that we don't know about.
Right, so we've seen how ZachXBT goes after shady projects. But what happens when they turn their attention to influencers in the crypto space?
Oh, that's when things get really interesting, because ZachXBT isn't afraid to call out big names no matter how many followers they have. And that brings us to the story of Lark Davis. Lark Davis was a pretty well-known crypto influencer with a huge following. ZachXBT accused him of promoting these small, low-cap crypto projects to his audience, then selling off his own holdings, dumping them, as they say, for a big profit.
So hyping them up to his followers, then pulling the rug out from under them? Not cool.
That was the allegation, and ZachXBT provided specific examples tracing transactions to show how Davis would receive tokens from these projects right before he started promoting them.
What did Davis have to say about all this?
He denied any wrongdoing, of course, claimed he was just following a regular investment strategy and that he always disclosed his holdings. But ZachXBT's investigation suggested a pattern of behavior that, well, it raised some questions about his ethics as an influencer.
Makes you think, doesn't it? Just because someone has a lot of followers and seems knowledgeable doesn't mean they're always acting in their audience's best interest.
That's a big takeaway from ZachXBT's work. Be critical even of the people you trust. Do your own research. Don't blindly follow anyone's advice.
Okay, good advice. Let's talk about another influencer who clashed with ZachXBT. Jeffrey Huang, also known as Machi Big Brother. Now, Huang, he wasn't just some random influencer. He was a major player in the NFT space, right?
Huge. A true NFT whale. A successful entrepreneur, well-known collector of those Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs. So when ZachXBT accused him of involvement in some shady crypto projects, it caused quite a stir.
What were the accusations about, specifically?
ZachXBT's investigation dug into Huang's past. He'd been involved in a number of projects, going all the way back to 2017. One that stood out was Formosa Financial, a blockchain platform for managing funds. ZachXBT alleged that Huang was involved in a scheme that saw millions of dollars withdrawn from Formosa Financial's treasury, without other investors knowing.
That's a serious accusation. What did Huang do?
Well, he didn't just sit there and take it. In June 2023, he filed a defamation lawsuit against ZachXBT.
Whoa, a lawsuit.
Yeah, things got real. The crypto community was watching closely to see what would happen. ZachXBT, facing a mountain of legal fees, actually turned to the community for support, launched a crowdfunding campaign to cover the costs.
I bet people were happy to help.
They were. In just 2 days, ZachXBT raised over $1 million from people who believed in their work and wanted to see them fight back.
That's incredible. So what happened with the lawsuit in the end?
Well, in a surprising turn of events, Huang dropped the lawsuit just a few months later in August 2023.
Really? Why'd you do that?
According to ZachXBT, they'd made some changes to the original exposé, addressing some of Huang's feedback. Seems like they reached some kind of compromise.
So settle out of court.
Pretty much. It was a tense time, that's for sure. And then, get this, Huang actually ended up praising ZachXBT's work, acknowledging the value they bring to the crypto community.
Wow, from suing them to becoming a fan, that's a turnaround.
It is, shows you how unpredictable the crypto world can be. But it also highlights how important ZachXBT's work is. They're holding people accountable, even those with power and influence.
Okay, so we've talked about Lurk Davis, Jeffrey Huang, both pretty big names. Who else did ZachXBT go after?
Well, there was another high-profile clash with Ben Armstrong, better known as BitBoy Crypto. He's a major crypto influencer.
BitBoy Crypto, yeah, I've heard of him, big online presence.
Right, but ZachXBT's investigation raised some serious concerns about his promotional practices.
What did they find?
Back in January 2022, ZachXBT accused BitBoy Crypto of promoting multiple NFT scams, despite claiming to thoroughly vet the projects he endorsed.
Saying one thing, doing another.
Exactly. They presented evidence showing that BitBoy Crypto had promoted at least 7 NFT projects or token scams that ended up rug-pulling investors.
And we're talking about a lot of money here, right?
Millions of dollars potentially lost by people who trusted his recommendations. Sparked a big conversation about the responsibility of influencers.
I bet a lot of people felt betrayed.
Rightfully so.
So that was a couple years ago. Anything come up more recently?
It did, actually. In October 2023, ZachXBT made further allegations against BitBoy Crypto, this time focused on his paid trading group called High IQ.
High IQ, huh? What was that all about?
Well, ZachXBT claimed that BitBoy Crypto was charging a hefty price, $3,999, for access to this group, supposedly offered a top-performing trading indicator and a verified strategy for making money in crypto.
Sounds like a classic get-rich-quick scheme.
That's the thing. ZachXBT pointed out that if this trading indicator was as good as BitBoy Crypto claimed, why would he also be asking for donations from his followers?
Good point. Doesn't make much sense.
Right. Seemed like he might have been profiting more from selling access to this group than from actually using the trading strategies himself.
A whole other level of hypocrisy, on top of the NFT scam accusations.
That's how a lot of people saw it, and this investigation just added fuel to the fire about accountability and ethics in the crypto influencer space. Seems to be a recurring theme.
Yeah, it does. Speaking of influencers with questionable ethics, what about Logan Paul, the internet personality, the celebrity boxer? Lots of controversies over the years. I'm guessing his crypto involvement didn't escape ZachXBT's notice.
You know ZachXBT, they're always watching. Back in May 2022, they published an expose accusing Logan Paul of endorsing pump and dump schemes in the NFT world.
Pump and dump, what's that?
It's this manipulative tactic where someone hypes up an asset, like an NFT project, to artificially inflate its price. Then, when the price is high enough, they sell off all their holdings, leaving everyone else holding the bag.
Basically taking advantage of their influence to make a quick buck at the expense of their followers.
Exactly. ZachXBT provided specific examples claiming Logan Paul was involved in this kind of scheme with projects like the Elongate token, Ethereum X, even the Dinkboink project.
I remember some of those big on social media for a while, then poof, gone.
That's how it goes. Hype builds fast, then crashes even faster, leaving people with worthless assets.
It's sad that someone with as much influence as Logan Paul would do that.
It is. ZachXBT's investigation, like all the others, just highlights the importance of being cautious and skeptical, even with celebrities or influencers you might like. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, especially in the fast-paced world of crypto.
Okay, we've talked about a lot of scams and investigations. Starting to feel a little heavy. Anything positive that came out of ZachXBT's work?
There is actually a really heartwarming story that shows the power of ZachXBT's work to actually help people. It involved the recovery of some stolen DeGods NFTs.
The Gods. Aren't those a popular collection? Really create artwork?
They are. Strong community. Their NFTs are highly sought after. Back in May 2023, ZachXBT got a message from someone who'd fallen victim to a phishing scam and lost their DeGods NFTs.
Oh no, that's awful. Those must have been worth a lot.
They were, so ZachXBT took on the case and started digging. After months of investigation, they actually tracked down the stolen funds.
No way they recovered the NFTs.
They did. In February 2024, ZachXBT announced they'd successfully recovered the victim's stolen DeGods NFTs. Huge win, not just for the victim, but for the whole NFT community.
That's amazing. A real-life superhero story, except instead of a cape, it's blockchain analysis.
It really is. Testament to their skill and dedication. Shows that ZachXBT's work goes beyond just exposing scams. They can actively help people.
A message of hope in a space that can often feel pretty grim.
Definitely. But this heartwarming story also brings to light a challenge ZachXBT's been facing lately.
What's that?
Well, after recovering those DeGods NFTs, ZachXBT announced they'd be stepping back from providing free investigation services.
Wait, they're not going to be doing free investigations anymore. Why?
It's understandable. The demand for their services had become overwhelming. They were getting bombarded with requests from people who had been scammed. It was just too much for one person to handle.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's got to be emotionally and mentally draining to deal with these cases all the time.
Burnout is a real concern, and these investigations take time, effort, specialized knowledge. It's not something you can just do in your spare time.
So if they're not doing free investigations anymore, what are they going to do?
That's the big question. They've built such a strong reputation, a loyal following. Hard to imagine them just disappearing.
Yeah, they've become kind of a symbol of accountability in the crypto world. Their absence is going to be felt for sure.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? What's next for ZachXBT?
Yeah, are they going to like transition into a different role in the crypto community or what?
It's tough to say for sure, but they've definitely started a conversation about the need for better scam prevention and investigation in the crypto world. Maybe their work will inspire others to, kind of pick up the torch.
Right, like a whole network of people using blockchain analysis and online sleuthing to expose scams and help victims. That'd be pretty amazing.
It could happen. The tools and knowledge are out there. Just need people to come together and use them effectively. Who knows? Maybe ZachXBT will even train or mentor these new investigators.
That would be incredible. I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of ZachXBT. They've made too much of an impact.
I agree. They've exposed a real need. Their work has made the industry safer for everyone, that's for sure.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, let's reflect on what we've learned. What are the key takeaways from exploring the world of ZachXBT?
Well, I think the biggest one is the importance of due diligence. Whether you're investing in an NFT project, following an influencer, or just navigating the crypto space in general, you got to do your research. Don't just take promises at face value. Verify everything yourself.
Yeah, that's so important. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, especially when you see other people making money. But got to remember, there are a lot of bad actors out there looking to take advantage.
Exactly. Another key takeaway is the power of investigative journalism, even in a decentralized world like crypto. ZachXBT has shown that it's possible to hold people accountable, even when they're trying to hide behind anonymity or complex technology.
Truth matters, even in the digital age. And there are people out there fighting for transparency and justice. That's inspiring.
It is. And lastly, I think we've learned a valuable lesson about the risks of blindly following influencers. Just because someone has a lot of followers, claims to be an expert, doesn't mean they always have your best interests at heart.
Absolutely. Got to be critical. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to challenge the information you're given.
Exactly. Think for yourself, make your own informed decisions.
Well said. So there you have it, a glimpse into the world of ZachXBT, crypto's digital detective.
Their work is a testament to transparency, accountability, and the pursuit of justice in this crazy world of crypto.
And as ZachXBT steps back from those free investigations, it leaves us with a big question. What's next for the fight against scams in crypto? Will others step up? Will we see more community-driven investigations?
It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure, the need for accountability and vigilance in the crypto space isn't going anywhere.
So to all our listeners out there, stay informed, stay skeptical, and stay engaged in the conversation about ethics and responsibility in crypto.
Couldn't agree more. The future of crypto depends on it.
Great point to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of ZachXBT.
It's been a wild ride. Until next time, keep exploring that fascinating world of crypto. It really has been. And it's kind of bittersweet to see ZachXBT stepping back.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, they've done so much good, exposed so many scams.
Exactly, but they've also shown us that it's possible to fight back. They've given us the tools and knowledge to be more aware, to protect ourselves.
Right, like we can't just rely on one person to do all the work.
Definitely not. It's up to all of us to be vigilant, to do our research, to hold these projects and influencers accountable.
So what's next for the fight against scams in crypto?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I have a feeling we're going to see more people stepping up, using their skills to investigate and expose these bad actors.
I hope so. Maybe we'll even see some new ZachXBTs emerge.
That'd be awesome. But even if not, I think ZachXBT's legacy will continue to inspire people.
Oh, absolutely. They've changed the game, no doubt about it.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I just want to say, if you're listening to this and you're feeling a little overwhelmed, a little discouraged by all the scams and drama in the crypto world, don't give up hope.
Yeah, don't let the bad guys win.
Exactly. Remember, knowledge is power. Arm yourself with information, do your research, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
And never, ever invest more than you can afford to lose.
Wise words. Well, that's it for today's deep dive into the world of ZachXBT, crypto's digital detective.
It's been a wild ride.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay safe out there in the cryptoverse.
And stay vigilant.